Hi, um, I'm Jason Lutes. It is Friday. No, it's not Friday. It's Sunday. Man, it's been a blur. Sunday, November 8th. Um, and I'm shooting this because my phone failed on me when I tried to record something 2 days ago. But it's a good thing because I was not in the greatest mood 2 days ago. And last night, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris gave some speeches recognizing that they were the new leaders of our country. So I'm in a much better mood today. So I was just let's see, what's my job? My job is to show you this book that I wrote. First thing I do every morning after I get the kids sent off to school is make myself a thermos of coffee. I'm going for full Tove Jansson cred here with my Snufkin coffee mug. Into the basement where all the magic happens. Oh, here's a nice thing. This is a silkscreen poster that I was asked to do for the anniversary of the Berlin Wall coming down, which was a great honor to be able to do. So it's like a 4-color silkscreen that a friend of mine in Berlin printed, which was really great. Here's one of my office companions. So it's not the prettiest scene down here where all the action happens. Over here in this corner is my drawing table where I do all of my work. It's a total jumble and a mess. I'm kind of a control freak, but you wouldn't know that from looking at my workspace. What can I show you down here? Oh yeah, so just the other day, I got copies of the paperback edition of Berlin. This is the book that I am most known for. It is a book that I spent 22 years of my life writing and drawing, which is crazy to think about. When I look at this book, it's kind of hard to imagine that I actually drew it. But yeah, it's about the rise of fascism in Berlin, Germany in the late 20s and early 30s. And I wrote it because I wanted to understand how the Holocaust had happened, because I didn't really understand it. And it turned out that I ended up writing and drawing the last chapter during the 2016 election. So it was a very, very surreal and strange experience to be writing about this subject matter while in the reality outside my front door, a lot of the things that had been happening in Germany at the time were happening here in America. And given how things went then, I had let's say a pessimistic outlook on the progression of things. But even so, I tried to end this book on a positive note because I have children who are growing up in this world, and I didn't want to just resign myself to misery and depression. I was very honored when my book won the 2019 Vermont Book Award. You can see that's the actual award I received, which is made out of the folded pages of actual books, which is pretty amazing. And you can see I've placed it in this very special location near all the plumbing in a random corner of my basement. So in order to write this book, I had to do 2 years of research. Over there those are all the books. This is like a quarter of all the books I used to research. This is before the internet. I started this book in, I was 26 years old. I can't do the math right now, but it was a long time ago. So anyway, I would do all the research, and then I wrote it one chapter at a time. And this is an example of one of my notebooks where you can see the thumbnail drawings that I would make to kind of work out what happens on every page. This sort of draft here is the equivalent of this final page spread. And I would sort of write down everything that happens inside below or on the same page to work out all the dialogue and whatnot. So this is the book. This is the form in which my drafts happen. Here's a page where there's no dialogue at all. It's just working out the visuals. And you can see how that turned out in the final book here. So that's how I tackled this subject. Kind of very, I guess I describe it as improvising within a structure over 22 years of my life, which was only about 5 years in the time of the story. Yeah, so some people call it my life's work. I guess in the end, that's probably what it's going to be. And I'm really happy that D&Q was able to put out the paperback version of it this year. So let's get out of my basement. Don't forget the coffee. Oh yeah, here's a D&Q cartoonist whose work I hugely admire, Kevin Huizinga, The River at Night. Here's another one, Rina Ayuyong, just happened to be lying out here. Gabrielle Bell's not published by D&Q, but one of my favorite cartoonists of all time. Amazing, amazing work. But let's get out of this basement. It's a little cramped in here. Go outside into the bright light of a beautiful Vermont November. Yeah, so I wrote this book not knowing where it was going to go, what the ending was going to be. I thought of it as an exploration of history, a part of history I wanted to know more about, and it ended up being far more relevant to my world than I could have possibly ever imagined or ever wanted. This year, in the 2020 elections, 70 million Americans, 57% of white voters here, chose fascism, chose systemic racism, chose white supremacy over Mr. Rogers, if you can imagine that. So it's kind of extraordinary that we as a whole, as a people, rejected that and did choose Mr. Rogers. So I am in this moment very hopeful, but in the words of Kamala Harris, there's a lot of work left to do. So I hope you will share in that labor with me, with all of us who are going to continue this fight. Take care.